Hello, everybody, and welcome to Untether.tv. I'm your host and the founder, Rob Woodbridge. You know what Untether does. We bring these great, deep dives into the mobile industry with some of the guys and gals who are doing things that are remarkable, that are changing the way that we do business, that are changing the industry, that are applying mobile to real-world activities to drive great revenue, to drive deeper customer engagement, and of course, that's why we're here, to understand how mobile is going to impact your business. And I am very pleased. I'm happy to actually, we're going to do a deep dive into mobile marketing today and understanding what that means and metrics and how to use it and what to do and where to use it and, you know, and how to start to bring this into your business. And I'm very pleased. I got Wen Tian, who is the co-founder of a company called SnapHop. And what SnapHop does is it's a software company that actually provides a set of tools to really, to help you gauge efficiency and effectiveness in your marketing, in your mobile marketing efforts. So we're going to dive into that product. We're going to dive into to Wen's history. We're going to dive into all of this thing, and we're going to finish this whole session, this whole episode, with some tips, some things that you should be doing in order to engage in mobile marketing for your organization, bringing it in. So I'd like to bring in and welcome Wen. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. Really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
This is great. Mobile marketing is a, how do you say it? Is a buzzword. It's a term on everybody's tongue.
Right.
But what I notice out there, and maybe you can shed a little bit of light on this, is that there aren't a lot of people who are doing this very effectively. We're still in that very early stage of test and retest and gauge and check, and then I think that there's somewhat of a timid nature going on out there. Would you agree, or are you seeing something different?
Well, yes, definitely. I mean, since mobile, as a whole, is so new, and traditionally marketing has taken place on email and more recently on social media. And for both of those marketing channels, it's very straightforward. Let's take email-wise, right? So for email marketing, you essentially just send out email to all the email addresses that you have, and hope people will click on and convert into your paying customer, right? And for social media, you have a few, very solid social media channel, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, now Google Plus, and Pinterest. Everybody's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Recently. So you have a very, very focused group of destination where you can market yourself. But for mobile, it's very, very fragmented. You have your various mobile devices. You have your SMS. You have your MMS. You have QR codes. And then upcoming, you have like an NFC, and then also, I forgot to mention, you also like Foursquare check-in. There's so many different channels. And the most important thing, people could be everywhere, they could be spread out everywhere in the world. So how do you effectively reach out to those people, based upon the geographic location, based upon their communication preference, based upon their device? It's a very challenging task.
It is, and just as you said, it's so confusing for people who are in the industry, let alone for people who are trying to look at this and say, okay, where do I start? So we're going to dive into that, but I'm really interested to understand how you ended up here. You've got a great history, a great resume, working with carriers and working in the mobile space. So I'm really interested to talk a little bit about your background and how you got into this space. Where did you start, man?
Oh, I started back in college, so I studied.
It's good. Most people say, well, my mother, my father, stuff happened, and so back in college is far enough. So
right. So back in college, I studied computer science and applied biology. So my original goal back in college was going to computational biology, where you use the computer to help discover, new way of essentially making drugs to help cure various diseases, right? But I ended up taking a different route, doing various
no kidding.
reason.
This is nowhere near that, man. You took a left turn somewhere, I'm sure. Right?
Exactly, yeah. quite a left turn, and then ended up in helping various carriers. Ended up in communication industry, helping various carriers to help their operational efficiency, and anywhere from their IT operational efficiency to their customer care process to their marketing strategy to basically every aspect of communication carrier operation. So that's where I gained a lot of insights into how the mobile carriers work and what's the upcoming trends, as well as what the future might be. And nobody knows what the future will be, but what the future might be for a mobile lifestyle.
So, I mean, that's what obviously appealed to you about getting into the mobile space was the exposure through, because it was, who did you work? You worked with AT&T. What other carriers did you work with?
Right. So I worked with AT&T. Well, before then it was like Singular. So Singular Wireless then turned into, well, AT&T Wireless, Singular Wireless, then AT&T Mobility. It all came around. And then Sprint, T-Mobile, also had a Comcast as well. So those are the main ones I worked with. I also worked with, a few, spent a very short period of time working with the smaller ones as well.
So what was it about the mobile space that you saw then that really made you want to stay in there and walk away from portions of your education and fighting disease?
Well, I would say it's more of my lifestyle. I'm always on the run, so it's whether it's hanging out with friends, going to places. I mean, I'm never home. So at least before I was never home. So I really want to be able to still stay connected with everyone and still connected with my digital life while I'm on a go. So that's what brought me a great deal of interest in mobile. And also one of the most important things I have always wanted is become an entrepreneur ever since my college days, and I figure this is the right time to do it before I'm not getting any younger any day, right?
Any younger? Give me a break. What are you?
So
I love that statement from people who you're still in your 20s. I'm going to assume.
No, I just turned 30. So.
Okay, so you're not getting any younger. 30 years old. Oh, all right. Continue.
So I would say, all right, this is the time to do it before I have too much commitment in life. So I mean, I was interested in mobile. Now I've always been interested in entrepreneurship. So let me do something. Let me figure out what do we want to do to push the deployment, the adoption of mobile forward.
Okay, so what was it about this industry that you're in? I mean, you must have looked at opportunities everywhere inside of mobile. You get exposed to it. You're living that lifestyle, which is the mobile lifestyle.
Right.
But what was it about mobile marketing that really made you jump on and say, listen, this is where I want to spend my time?
Right. Okay. So one of the things about mobile is, I mean, the greatest thing about mobile is you are in a world that the physical world is not really connected to the online world, right? So, I mean, now everybody's mobile. You still want to be able to access all the information that you're able to access online while you're mobile, right? So, and this is where mobile marketing comes into place. It essentially turns into your physical world into essentially your online world. So you can access any sort of information no matter where you go, interact with anybody you want through any form of communication. And also, whether you are gathering information, submitting information, I mean, you just literally, basically, I mean, you could be walking around on the street. You're just like you're in front of your computer.
Right. You have that much access to everything.
Exactly.
All at once.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And is this? I've got a a theory on this, but is this for you guys? For you, the single greatest opportunity in your lifetime so far to really step out and become an entrepreneur because of the rapid change and the rapid growth that's happening in mobile? Is this the perfect time to step out and start your own company?
Well, I mean, we think this is a great time, and there's never a perfect time, at least in our opinion. There's never a perfect time to do anything. You always a little bit too early or a little bit too late. It's about, we think this is a great time to get in, at least to learn, perfect, ways of doing things and discover, what's the most, profitable, what's the most efficient way, and what's the basically the best way of doing things on mobile.
And is it, so for you, how long have you been doing this now?
We've been doing this since September.
Okay, September of last year.
Yeah, September of last year, September of 2011, and we spent about 3 to 4 months to develop the product, and then launched the product about 2 months ago.
And is this self-funded? Are you guys doing this on your own?
Yes, it's currently self-funded, and we're currently building a lot of partnership as well as gaining traction with a paying customer. Yep. And at the same time, we're looking into the possibility of raising funding, but it's not a priority for us at this point, but definitely looking into the possibility of doing it.
All right, so you had expectations going into the development of the company, development of the product last September. As you're building towards this, you've chosen this through your process. You've worked with carriers. You've found weaknesses. You live in this business.
Right.
Then you started in September.
Yeah.
You spent 3.5 months building the product.
Yep.
Where's your head at now? Was this a good idea? What were some of the challenges that you had as building the product out in the mobile space?
Right. So the biggest challenge, I think, for mobile space at this point, it's not about the product technology. It's about education, educating people, what to do with mobile, right? So basically, we can go talk to people and say, hey, have you thought about, since like more and more of your customer getting onto mobile, I mean, why are you still putting your marketing dollar in traditional web traditional like web, and some people even talking about yellow pages, still putting money into yellow pages, right?
Quite a diversity we're talking about here, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the biggest challenge when you talk to people. People say, "Well, I just got onto social media. Now do you worry about mobile?" So I would say up until this point, that's the biggest challenge for us. It's educating people on what to do with mobile. How can mobile benefit you, and how can you connect with your customer in a very intimate level using mobile?
So it must have been a wake-up call for you guys, because I think that there's something to be said about the mobile generation who understand this, inherently get it. They use their phone. They don't wear watches. I mean, I don't wear a watch. You probably don't wear a watch. I use my phone for everything. Do you wear a watch?
No, I don't.
Right, because you've got a watch on your phone, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and more often than not, on the go, connecting through social networks through these devices. So you get it.
Yeah.
So when you set out to build this software and build a company, was that a big wake-up call for you guys that, listen, it's going to be an easy sell because there's got to be people like us out there, and then you hit this wall, which was the education wall, which is the dreaded education wall. You don't really want to be there teaching people how to embrace mobile, and then they go and find and work with one of your competitors, right?
Yes, right.
So was it a big challenge to get through that?
No.
Was that a wake-up call?
No, we saw this as a challenge because social media essentially faced the same challenge before. Everybody was talking about Facebook or Twitter, or any sort of a social media channel. And we saw this, when we start building the product. We saw this coming, and that's we were prepared to do that. So we started with outreach to people, talking to people through various channels about mobile marketing, and how it can help you to build up your business, communicate with your customer, improve your conversion rate and those kind of stuff.
Right. Well, so talk about this. Is that when you go through that education process, is that you bake that in now? That's part of the presentation that you do. Is that you set expectations for what people can realistically achieve using your software?
Yes, that's the core of our marketing strategy. It's marketing. It's education.
It's education.
It's education. It's basically marketing through education. To teach people, those are the steps that you should follow to do mobile marketing, and this is the return on investment, and this is how we measure the return on investment.
All right, let's talk about your product. I know you're dying to talk about it.
All right.
SnapHop is the name of the company.
Yeah.
I did a terrible job describing what it does. Very interested to know your own description of how you categorize what SnapHop does in the marketplace.
Okay. So SnapHop is a set of tools that allow you to quickly and effectively build a mobile marketing campaign and deliver through SMS, QR codes, mobile email, social check-in, and any upcoming mobile channel, and manage all your campaigns from a central location.
All right. So how would you define a mobile marketing campaign? It's so broad, right? So
exactly, yeah. So let's say, one of the things is we're dealing with retailers, right? So let's say you're Gap. Right, so this particular Gap store wants to advertise a bunch of clothing they have, outfits they have. So they say, okay, every customer walks in, we're gonna ask them to scan a QR code, which leads to a mobile campaign, right? And then by scanning this QR code, you'll get to a mobile campaign that allows you to endorse this particular outfit on your social network, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, and any sort of other social network. And then by endorsing it, the customer gets, like, say, 20% discount at the store today. So it's both good for the customer as well as for the store, right? Because it's worth word of mouth marketing, as well as customer getting the benefits of actually endorsing their favorite product. So what happens is the store will come to our product, quickly develop this campaign, uploading some picture, description, and stuff like that, and then quickly deploy those QR codes to all the office they have in the store. And when the customer walk in and scan the QR code, press, I like this on Facebook, it will be automatically shared with all his or her friends. And the store will be able to get all the analytics behind it, as well as potential leads, because you get it, you know exactly who endorsed you on which Facebook page, and then who clicked on it, and all those metrics behind it.
So it obviously it amplifies this. It uses the mobile experience to amplify that social marketing component to this, right?
Exactly. It augments your online experience to the physical world.
And is that the sweet spot for mobile marketing? We're jumping ahead here and I'm going to pull it back in a second, but while we're on that train, is that the sweet spot for mobile marketing right now, which is to enhance existing marketing campaigns, website initiatives, SMS, email? Is that really where we are right now, early?
Yeah, well, we believe so. We believe because essentially it brings your online world into a offline setting, allows you to interact a lot of stuff you're doing regularly online at the offline setting that maybe the store you're going to every day, maybe the grocery store you're going every day. It's just part of your everyday life. It makes technology, it makes internet access more of an everyday life instead of a process of actually sitting in front of a computer of surfing the web. Because one of the things we see on mobile is web surfing, right? The traditional definition of web surfing needs to be changed. Nobody surfs on their mobile phone anymore, right? Have you ever tried to surf a website, click here, click there, the link is like 5 levels deep. It's not a great experience on mobile devices. On mobile devices, it's very important for the people who are developing those campaigns to get straight to the point. If I want to see this promotion, I scan a QR code or a text message, I want to see them right away. I don't want to click through like 3 level deep then to find out whether I can use this particular campaign or not. It's the same thing with information, right? If I'm in a grocery store, I want to look up the ingredients on this particular product, I should be able to scan the code on this product and see it right away. I shouldn't have to dig through so many different levels to find out what's the calorie content of this particular food product. So,
and it's right in line with that early stage. You don't want to replace everything that you're doing with a mobile campaign. It certainly does complement it very well.
Yeah.
So and we're going to come back to these tips on what to do, and I love the way that you described it here. Is that it's an enhancement to an existing initiative.
Exactly.
Talk about the software, because there are a lot of mobile marketing companies out there that will help you move your business into from the terrestrial world, which I call traditional marketing, into this mobile space. Yeah. What's so special about your software? What does it do?
Okay, so currently mobile marketing is very difficult, and it's a very, very tedious process. So let's say
tedious because it's time consuming, right?
It's very time consuming. Yeah, it consumes a lot of time, all labor, and you have to go to a lot of places. So essentially, let's say you just hire an agency to do a mobile campaign for you. So what they have to do is, first of all, they have to create a mobile optimized landing page. That's the very basic thing, very, very basic. And then they have to optimize this mobile landing pages for various mobile devices, whether it's Android, whether it's iPhone. Hopefully we don't have to deal with BlackBerry 6 months from now. But
I'm Canadian. You got to be careful there. Watch what you're saying.
Hopefully, everybody feels has strong feeling about supporting web technology on BlackBerry these days. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, we'll leave that to the soothsayers, the prediction makers. But obviously multiple platforms.
Right, so the multiple platform. Then you have to, set up a URL shortener like Bitly and stuff to track, all the statistics behind it, as well as add QR codes, set up, inbound SMS, maybe add location service to it, so you can know exactly where the campaign took place and where people saw this particular campaign, right? And then you have to add analytics behind it. just the page, the campaign access analytics to see, which kind of device hit this particular campaign, what time of the day this campaign was hit the most, and stuff like that. And then you have once you have those analytics, you have to manually export those analytics to any sort of third-party application you're kind of using, whether it's like Salesforce, whether it's Google Docs or MailChimp for email marketing, so you can do additional analyzing of those data. So I mean, it's a very, very long and tedious process. You're going to spend hours, if not days, try to get everything together and deploy it to the market. And we allow you to do this in 5 minutes, as little as 5 minutes. You can deploy this out. It's through QR codes, SMS, mobile email, and any upcoming channel that we're putting into the system.
How is it possible? This is obviously what you've been working on for 3.5 months, but
right.
when you distill, when you compress that process into a short period of time like that, obviously there's a little bit of secret sauce. You can tell it if you want, but I'm not going to stop you. But I mean, what was the logic that went into this? What was the trial and error? How did you decide what was appropriate for this marketing campaign or a marketing campaign, and then how did you build that in so that it did reduce all of that friction and made it that easy?
Well, I mean, a lot of it, right? So, like I was saying before, I mean, the process was tedious. It wasn't hard. I mean, I'm the first, the person being honest about it. It's not a very difficult problem, but it's a very tedious problem. So what we did is identify the most tedious, point of this process and automates it and just keep repeating it. So you can keep repeating the same process over and over again, and it significantly reduced the amount of time you spend on putting this campaign out. Because literally what every agency does is it's literally just a repeating process. Okay, we're going to do this over and over and over again. So we're trying to make this repetitive process very, very refined, very, very streamlined. So you only have to click on one button and everything is automatically done by computer for you.
And you think that what you've provided is kind of the lowest common denominator, a package that says this is at minimum what you have to be doing. This is the start for you guys to be able to go out and start to extend your brand into the mobile space?
Exactly, yeah. So basically, we identify different parts of the mobile marketing campaign development process. Say, all right, you have to set up QR codes, you have to set up SMS, you have to set up mobile email. You have to have analytics behind it. You have to have a mobile optimized content. And we try to see what's the minimum that you have to do to get this part running. And then combine the entire process together into a very streamlined format, and then essentially that's what became SnapHop. It's a very streamlined process that allows you to build out this mobile campaign quickly and effectively.
So talk about closing your first customer.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's a lot of demonstration. So essentially, say okay, this is what you're doing now. Literally just like the step I outlined to you a few minutes ago. Saying, all right, step 1, you're doing this, and how many hours it took you. And step 2, you're doing this, how many hours it took you. And step 3, and how many hours it took you. And then we'll multiply by, all right, how many this is number of hours you spend on this, and how much money that you're paying the person who's doing this, right? So this is essentially your cost for deploying this campaign, and we're charging you, monthly at this level, per month, per campaign, and you can get it done within 5 minutes, and then you do the math. I mean, it's pretty simple math, right? It's a no-brainer to start using our program and join our product.
There must be some metrics that you provide in order to be able to show that look, this is working. This is a simple process. What used to take you much more time is now taking you a fraction of that time. Yes. You're able to deploy many more mobile marketing campaigns as a result, and measure the effectiveness. So you do that. You measure what?
We measure, essentially we measure how many people actually access campaigns through a variety of channels. Whether you are coming to this campaign from SMS, whether you're coming into this campaign from QR codes, whether you're coming to this campaign from mobile email, we track everything. So basically everything is laid out in front of you to see exactly which channel is the most effective to you. And also one advantage that we have is because it's so quick, you can actually experiment with the content of your campaign to see whether the content is effective or not. I mean, many times, we may have a great system behind it, but the content is not effective, right? By doing this, because you haven't made much of a commitment into this, you can quickly go back and say, all right, I need to update the content. I need to maybe put more video content, more interactive content, or more text to explain what this content, this campaign is about. It really depends on the situation, but you're able to go in and update the content and redeploy the campaign very quickly.
And that's got to be one of the greatest. I'm just writing it down. In fact, it's got to be one of the greatest things is that because when you deploy a mobile marketing campaign, it's not set in stone.
Yeah,
you're constantly monitoring. You're looking around to see what's working, what's not working. You want to kind of do more of what's working and less of what's not working, and you can adjust on the fly.
Exactly. That's one of the biggest advantage of system is allow you to do that. At a very, very reasonable cost. I mean, you don't have to hire your own developer. You don't have to have like an agency, do all the metrics and the analytics behind it. Everything is laid out in front of you, simply, and it's professionally, and it's very straight to the point. So you can see which one of your campaigns is the most effective one, which one is not, and then you can go back in and make necessary changes, and then to see whether the results change or not.
So how do you make money? What's your revenue model?
Okay, so first of all, we are a SaaS-based service. So we charge a monthly subscription fee. Depends on the level of basically your level of usage. We have a lower level, we have a mid-tier level, then we have an enterprise level, which we.
What's the differentiator? Is that the number of deals or the number of campaigns you're going to run?
Right. So basically, the difference between the lower level and the mid-level are the number of campaigns you're going to run. So the mid-level is going to allow you to have more campaign, and also any sort of usage charge, like basically overage campaign, will cost less than the lower tier. So the enterprise is a little bit different. The enterprise will essentially come from our enterprise level customer, which requires many times a great deal of customization. So whether it's the custom branding or they want to set up a short code and they want to maybe have their own analytics behind it, and also like data integration with the existing ERP system. So it has a variety of needs, right? So that's what the enterprise plan is for. Right. Yeah. And another revenue opportunity we'll be doing is enterprise integration. Like I was saying, with enterprise, they're asking for a lot of data integration with the existing system. So many times it could be as simple as integrating with Salesforce, MailChimp, or any sort of other SaaS service. But the other time, you could be integrating with some proprietary stuff that you have or proprietary data format you already have. So that requires some additional work. So that's a revenue opportunity for us as well. And then another opportunity that we're doing is partnership, strategic partnership. Essentially, we have people white label our product and resell as part of their offering, value-added offering for the services that they're providing, as well as just for the more of our internal use and stuff like that. Basically, those are very large accounts, very large accounts that have essentially a ongoing partnership with us. They're both using the product as well as selling the product for us.
What I love about this is that there's many streams of revenue.
Yes.
Do you have a target customer in mind, or are you opening this up to anybody who has from a proprietor of one store, a single location, right, all the way up to, as you said, like the large enterprises that are using your software and reselling it? Does it matter to you? Is it fit everybody?
Well, it really depends on a lot of time. It really depends on our customer acquisition costs, right? So we are focusing a great deal currently on mid-size enterprises, so mid-size brands and mid-size agencies. We're not that much focusing on the large ones like Procter and Gamble of the world, Walmart of the world. We're not really focusing on that front at this point, and we're not really doing a lot of mom and pop shop either. So we're more focused on the mid-size enterprises where they still want to get the latest and the greatest technology to help them improve operating efficiency, but they just don't have the large amount of budget to spend on those kind of stuff.
Yeah, obviously, the cost of acquisition is very, very important, and
Exactly.
some companies don't think about that. Where you have to make sure that what it costs you to bring in a customer
Right.
is not is less than it costs for them to actually less than what they're paying you to do the service at the time. And then, do you have a number in mind when you think about a customer acquisition cost? Is it $100? Does it matter?
Well, let's say, I mean, I'm not going to reveal the number on this call, but the simple metric we're using is we have customer acquisition cost versus customer long-term value. Yeah. So the customer long-term value will be, for us, at least 3 times the customer acquisition cost for us to proceed, with acquiring this customer. Otherwise, we're going to say it's just not worth it. We'll move on to a different customer.
I love that approach. I think that it's very important to think about the cost of bringing somebody on.
Right.
It's not all revenue is not the same, and certain revenue is very much more expensive. Right. Sounds silly to say, but much more expensive. And I love your approach there, that you have that in mind. So good job. Everybody out there listening, that's exactly what you'd be thinking about. Even if you're selling apps and you're selling them at, you follow the price to zero like everybody else is, and you're charging 99 cents for your app, think about what it costs in order to be able to bring that person in and the lifetime value they're going to get from that product. And if 99 cents doesn't cut it, don't charge that. You're better off to be free and change it, go with a different business model where you're going to get that, as in your terms, like 3x on the acquisition, on the cost of acquiring them.
Right, exactly.
Very smart.
Yep.
Okay, now, meat. The meat.
All right.
Let's talk about this. There's companies out there all over the place that all they're hearing about are things like Foursquare and mobile marketing and display ads, and I gotta be there, I gotta do this, hyperlocal activity, geolocation, location-based marketing, QR codes, as we were talking about this, NFC, all of these technologies, SMS, all these technologies out there, and when you lump that into a term called mobile marketing, they just look at you with puzzled eyes and think, all right, I'll wait. I'm going back to print, right?
Right.
So let's leave people here with some tactical implementation strategies here, but how to get into mobile marketing. Where do they start?
Okay.
What are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We can spend all day on this if we need to.
Oh, yeah.
Let's leave them with something.
Okay. So, I mean, let's get on to the basic. What do you want out of mobile marketing? So, I mean, essentially to us, for most businesses, when they think about mobile marketing, they want to do 2 things: deliver information to the users and acquire information from the users, and that using mobile devices. And those are the 2 scenarios. In like over 95% of the cases, that's what they want to do at this point, enable them to access information as well as acquire information from the users and customers.
So they have to decide what they want their customers to do with engaging them over a mobile device.
Exactly. Yeah. So one of the first thing is mobile marketing should not be an independent discipline of marketing. It should be part of your integrated marketing approach. You should already have a marketing strategy that includes email marketing, social media marketing, traditional, marketing, as well as, mobile marketing. So it should be part of it. That's the most important thing. You need to look at this from a holistic approach, not just trying to jump on a bandwagon and say, all right, everybody's doing mobile, I need to do it now. So
is that because it fits a specific spot on that continuum of marketing? Does it fit in multiple spots? Or is it just a vertical along every other avenue that you're going through?
Well, it really depends on because you have to realize, I mean, marketing, the key metrics for marketing is return on investment, right? I mean, how can you bring in additional sales, right? So if you're doing some sort of business, just not a great deal of interaction with people on mobile basis, there's really no point for you to actually spend a great deal amount of money to reach out people on mobile devices. So that's what I'm saying, first of all, you need to find out which marketing channel actually brings you the great deal of return on investment, great amount of deal in terms of increasing sale, and then attack that channel first. And then other will come later if you have to. That's why you have to look at this from a very holistic approach.
All right, so you got to decide whether it's about information gathering or information push. Then it's about it's got to be part of your integrated marketing strategy. It just can't be in isolation. Hopefully we've explained that. Understand what else? What else does this mobile marketing thing have to be?
Right, so that's the first step, right? So the second step would be using mobile marketing to promote your brands. So deliver great content. I mean, content on mobile should be the same type of quality to the type of content on the web. Just because it's on mobile doesn't mean people don't care about the quality. So deliver great quality content to mobile devices, which will help you promote your brands, whether it's audio, video, interactive content, great write-up, pictures and stuff like that. Engage your user with the content.
Is the content the same? Should it be the same? Should it be different than what you're seeing in other places? Should it be not formatted? I mean, like the language or HTML, but should it be a brief compared to a longer form video or audio or written word, or should we just be taking the existing content that we're creating and throwing it up on a mobile?
Well, the content should be optimized for mobile. It needs to be very concise. So like I was saying earlier, on mobile, you need to get straight to the point because people are on the run. They don't have a lot of patience, and they scroll through the phone a few times. All right, that's it. I mean, I'm not going to continue anymore. So within those very short seconds, you need to capture people's attention, get straight to the point, answer their question, address their concern, tell them where to go, what to do, and stuff like that. So people can get on with their lives.
So how hard is that? It's got to be hard to be able to get that through, that the content, that it's not just about putting a mobile wrapper on your WordPress blog.
Right. It's not.
You have to give it some thought. How hard is that to convince people that this is a completely different discipline than the web?
Well, it's I think people really have to put that into practice. Give a trial run. See how your customer react, right? So, I mean, if you see your customer keep scrolling on their cell phone to try to find the relevant information, then you know you're doing the stuff wrong. You know you're doing the content wrong. They should be able to, whether it's an SMS or QR code or mobile email, when they open it up with their phone, no scrolling. That's it. It's right in front of them. They see the content, they know exactly what to do, and then they close their phone and say, all right, I know what to do. So they move on with their lives.
Gotcha.
So that's the most important thing. Get straight to the point, and people just don't have a great deal of attention span these days. Like I was saying, like everybody seems to have ADD these days.
It's true, and mobile certainly contributes to that. But
exactly.
It's smart ADD because here I am. Technically, it's not. I'm just creating a term around this. It's smart ADD because it's forcing, as you said, the brands to put themselves in their users' shoes.
Yeah.
And understand what it is that user's looking for at that moment, and display that. Yeah. Don't display the rest.
Yeah.
Like if I keep saying, if I'm on the road, know that I'm not in my home, or I'm on my mobile device, and I type in, I do a Google search for Starbucks.
Yeah.
You can assume one of two things.
Right.
I have a fascination with Starbucks, and I just want to know something about them, or I'm trying to find the one that's closest to me. So when I land on the Starbucks.com page, do all that stuff behind the scenes, and then show me the closest ones, and maybe a click to call or a click to navigate, something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why also iteration is very important. So you can discover exactly what kind of content people like the most. Mm-hmm. I mean, some content people are just not that interested in, and you probably want to remove those content, replace with new contents, right? So that's what I also meant by iteration, because most people probably not going to get this right the first time. You have to go through multiple iterations to make sure you get to the correct content on your mobile devices. And also one thing about the content is absolutely no ads. I know I'm against Apple, whether Google on this mobile ad stuff, but absolutely people do not see ads on the mobile devices. It's already pretty small real estate, and it's just going to impact the entire experience. And frankly, from all the statistics that we have seen, right, nobody ever clicks on those ads. Nobody ever pays attention to those ads. Most people just close it, It's
funny, I wrote down here mobile ads, display ads, because I wanted to talk to you about that, because I feel the exact same way. You know, it's a terrible implementation of something that should never have been implemented on the web, and here we are trying to jam it onto a mobile. It's
exactly, yeah.
But these companies are making, like Opera just got into this space. They bought 2 ad display companies, and Mobi just closed $200 million for ad display, for mobile ad display, and you've got Google in this space, Apple in this space. You've got companies that are making hundreds of millions of dollars in display advertising in mobile, but there are very few people like you or like me saying, "Don't stop that because it's terrible."
Exactly. Yeah.
But so how come people are still? Is it just because it's familiar that people are doing it?
Right. Essentially, that's exactly what happens. People are trying to bring the same type of behavior from the desktop web onto the mobile web, and they haven't realized that the behavior on mobile web and basically mobile in general is entirely different. You need to take an entire different approach. You know, I mean, ads are not relevant on mobile anymore. Your content is an ad by itself. You know, content is what a very great, concise content is what's going to attract users, what's going to, you know, bring back customers and make people, you know, try your product, you know, communicate your product to their friends, families, and other people.
So I'm 100. I completely agree with you. In fact, I did a recent mobile minute that basically called that out. I said, you know, they're crap. They shouldn't be up there. Stop doing ads. Anybody who's in this business is in basically a race to zero, because eventually somebody's going to get it right. I don't know what the answer is, but I know it is not display ads or banner ads on a mobile device. It's just not.
Exactly. Not even search ads. I mean, search ads won't even work on mobile devices.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that mobile is key. Like search engine optimization for a mobile experience is very key, right? And you know that Google is rating your mobile website differently than you do your desktop website for that very reason. So I believe that that SEO is very important when it comes to these things, and even more so when you start to talk about voice-enabled, Siri-enabled, similar technologies. Right, that has an impact. But we're way off here. But I love the fact that you brought up mobile ads, and there's 2 of us, and anybody else out there who's listening or watching who believes the same thing, we got to start some kind of movement here. So right now, right here, leave your name in the comments, and we will combat, destroy display ads. All right. So I've totally derailed us. What else should they be looking at when it comes to mobile marketing, getting into this space?
Right, and the next thing that's very important on mobile is listen to your customer. Feedback. So analyze, you know, how your customer feel, and then, you know, get your customer feedback based upon context. So I mean, one of the greatest things about mobile is context, because, you know, people could be anywhere in the world, right? So you want to see how customers feel within that particular specific context. Whether, you know, it could be raining outside, you're by a, you know, subway station, that you just had a terrible day. Obviously, you know, you're not going to be reacting, you know, well to anything that, you know, anybody's trying to show you, right? So I mean, the customer sentiment based upon context, it's a very, very powerful thing for brands as well, for, you know, businesses in general. So that's the very important thing, is you want to get as much feedback from your customers as possible. And I mean, generally speaking, any brand who proactively listen to what the customers say and also proactively reach out to customer do much better than the brands that don't. You know, you see those companies with like no reply email ad. I mean, that's a bad example, right? at least change the name of it from no reply to something else, even though you're not going to ever reply, but do something else. Just give, you know, people the impression that you're actually, you know, sorting through the email, try to see how people feel about it. But don't ever put a reply ad, you know, something.
I love that. No reply. You really feel special there. Like it warms you right here, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But context is so important, and you know what I think that maybe what mobile marketing is embarking on here is that whole idea. Like we just went through the Super Bowl, you know, $3.5 million for a 30-second ad, without follow-up, without closure, without really understanding how to gauge or understand the impact that you've had.
Yeah. Right.
Just it's a spend, really to spend, and to create a mass awareness. Those days, I mean, for me, I'd rather have 1,000 focused people who understand this business, who want to learn more about mobile, come to Untether and interact with me, than a million people who just browse and are faceless, right?
Exactly. That's why the next part of mobile marketing is the analytics, the user insights, all the data that you're able to collect. You want to, we help you to make sense out of those data. See, what's the most effective location for this actual campaign? What's the most effective, context, device type, age? I mean, it's not in our system now, but eventually we can tie the weather into it. What's the weather like at this particular location? And how does it affect your advertising campaign and stuff like that? So that's the greater thing about mobile is you have all those variables, all those data on your hand. You can clearly see what's working and what's not working. And also one of the most important things, once you see what's working and what's not working, follow up with your user, follow up with your customer to see how you can alleviate any sort of concern, how you can help make your service better, your product better, just generate your brand image better. So,
all right, those are great. I get my last question around this is if there's one thing that somebody out there listening, trying to get into the mobile space, trying to understand how to embrace mobile marketing,
right?
What's that first step for them? What is it right now that they could go out and do that isn't cumbersome, that isn't painful, that they could get their feet wet and start to understand this space a little bit more?
Well, talk to your customer. Talk to your customer. Understand how they use mobile.
So wait. Before I want to bring that out.
Right.
Talk to your customer. Don't go build an app. Don't pay anybody to do anything. Go and ask your customers if there's relevancy to be in the mobile space.
Exactly. Especially don't go build an app. It's like I've seen this so many times. So people, we need to get on mobile. Let's go, spend tens of thousands of dollars to get an app built, which nobody ever uses, right? So the first thing is not, it's not about app. It's not about mobile web. It's not about a QR code. It's about understanding what your customer do. Whether you have a store or whether you have like an event, what do your customer do on mobile devices at this particular context? Talk to your customer and see what they do. I mean, literally everybody. I walk in a restaurant, it's like everybody's on a cell phone these days. Nobody is actually talking or anything like that. No. Everybody's on the cell phone. So, proactively approach your customer, see, what they actually do on their cell phone, what they're looking for while they're sitting in the restaurant, while they're at this particular event. Understand the customer behavior, and then sit down and see what's the best approach, for reaching out to the customer, whether it's a mobile web or mobile app or, social check-in, QR codes, SMS. Find the stuff that works for you the best.
And it might be one or all of them.
Exactly.
But the question is, the first step is to ask your customer, because you don't want to be intrusive. You don't want to build something that isn't going to be effective. And you want to complement what you're already doing.
Exactly. Especially, I really like what you said about intrusive part is on mobile device, you definitely do not want to be intrusive because, on email, you can just close your email program, close your browser. That's it. You don't have to receive those email anymore. On social media, close your browser, log out Facebook, you're good to go. On mobile, it's always with you. It's always going to come through on the phone. You can never get rid of it, right? So, customers going to get really frustrated. It's going to definitely hurt your brand image. So, one of the most important things on mobile marketing is do not be intrusive. Get customers' permission, or do an inbound mobile marketing where, if customers really like your product, like they want to know more, they can proactively reach out to you through mobile channels.
That was perfect. Oh, Wen, this has been great. We're way over time, but the reason is because there's been such a great conversation, and my hope is that you guys who are watching or listening to this, wherever you are, have found a tremendous amount of value. And my guess is that if you reach out to Wen, or if you reach out in the comments, there will be some response. If you do have any questions about what we've been talking about here, please do. Put your hand up. Speak loud. We will answer these questions, and I will force Wen to do it. Trust me.
Yeah, I will.
Twist his virtual arm. I'm in Ottawa. He's in Atlanta. I'll fly down there and hold a mic to his mouth and make him answer your questions. So do that here.
Right.
So where do people find out a bit of information about what you guys are doing? How can they dive deeper into the product that you guys are creating at SnapHop?
Well, the best way to find out what we're doing is to follow our blog. So blog at blog.snaphop.com, and also follow us on the Twitter page. We keep them updated, pretty frequently. So those are the best channels to basically follow us, and also, just email. proactively reach out to us, shoot me an email if you have any question or concern or anything that you really like me to help with regarding mobile or just marketing in general. Just shoot me.
And that's at no reply at snaphop.com, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, no reply at snaphop.com goes to me. So
it's okay. So, but what is your real email address? Do you mind throwing that out here?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. It's my first name, so wen.tian@snaphop.com.
Yeah, okay. It was just a joke about the no reply, because that, as you said, but it'll land there, I'm sure. But no reply. So that's WEN. That's Wen Tian. Wen.tian@snaphop.com. If you go to snaphop.com, you'll find all the information you need about the product, the software, which is key is in this part as well. If you're ever struggling to try to figure out how to move into this space, talk to guys like Wen. Talk to people like Wen, because they're gonna guide you through this. Your success, their success, actually hinges on your success. If you're not happy with what's happening here in the mobile space, they've lost a customer, they've lost credibility. So they're gonna make sure that they do things right.
Right, and it's also a learning process for everybody because it's so new. So definitely, we love to hear people, what they think, it's the most appropriate way for them to do mobile marketing, and it's also a learning process for us as well.
Yeah, and you don't want to invest a whole ton of cash in something that you're not sure about yet.
Yeah,
you've got to do this. You got to test, and what I love about it is a whole bunch of small amounts of money placed in strategic bets, and then you can manipulate those bets, pull the levers to be able to influence your customers in a way that's non-intrusive.
Exactly. Yep.
I
Definitely.
love it. Wen, thank you so much for doing this. Advice is great. Love what you guys are doing. Your approach is great. I love the fact that you don't like display ads or banner advertisements in mobile. You've just gone way up and promote the crap out of this video just simply because of that. I might, in fact, extract that little piece of video, play it over in a loop on my website.
Thank you.
Go to snaphop.com. SnapHop. SNAPHOP.com for more information. Blog.snaphop.com and @snaphop on Twitter, and of course Wen.Tian @snaphop.com if you want some advice and some suggestions. We'll let the floodgates open then.
All right.
So listen, Wen, thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thanks for having me today.
I've been speaking with Wen Tian, who is the co-founder of a company called SnapHop. Go to snaphop.com. You folks out there, wherever you may be, whatever you are doing, thank you so much for listening to this, watching this. Really appreciate it. I'd love some feedback. Sometimes it gets lonely in this spot, broadcasting. Love some feedback about what you thought about this episode or any other one that's up on Untether.tv. We'll see you next time on Untether.tv. Thanks, Wen.
Thank you.